All right, guys, we are working on Spiral Review Unit D today, and the main topic for Unit D is solving systems of equations. So it says topic 1, solve the following system of equations by graphing. So we will graph both of our lines. So that one is y equals x plus 2. And our second line starts at -4 up 7 over 1. So it looks like they will cross right at the point 1, 3. Okay, solutions to a system is always an ordered pair where you have an x and a y. All right, number 2, same idea. So we'll start at -2 up 3 over 2. And then we have +2 down 1 over 2. Looks like they'll cross at the point 2, 1. All right, these still want us to solve by graphing, but they are not in slope-intercept form yet. So you can either convert them or you could use their intercepts to graph them, and whichever method works for you. So like I'm going to convert this top one. This would be the same as y equals -4/3 x plus 1. Or you could use their intercepts where if I cover up my x when x is 0, -6 divided by 3 will give me -2. And when y is 0, it's just x equals -6, which will go off my graph a little bit, unfortunately. But these, it looks like it'll cross at 3, -3. All right, so this one would be y minus x, y equals -x plus 3. This one will be y equals 5x minus 3 if you rearrange it and isolate. So there's our first line. And our second line. So they will cross at the point 1, 2, it looks like. All right, next page. All right, so now we're moving on to substitution, it looks like. So substitution was a method where I can replace y with what it's equal to. So I can rewrite this to be -5x plus 4, and then in parentheses, I'll replace that y with x plus 6. And then we can distribute. So I'll have -1x when I combine like terms. If I subtract 24 from both sides, I get 0. And then 0 divided by -1 is still 0. So my x is 0. And I can plug that back in to find y. So y is 6 in this case. Okay, same thing on this one. -4x plus 8. And then in parentheses, 5x minus 23. So we'll have to distribute. -4x plus 40x minus 184. Then -4 plus 40 is 36x. -4 plus 184 will give us 180. And divide by 36 will give us 5. Then you can plug 5 back in for x. This will give us 25 minus 23 is 2. So your ordered pair is 5, 2. All right, still substitution, but they're both equal to y, so really they are equal to each other. So you'll just have negative 2x minus 1 equals 8x plus 9. So if I add 2x to both sides, I'll get 10x over here. Subtract 9 will give me negative 10. And divide by 10 will give me negative 1. And then I can plug it back in for x in either equation to get my y. So in this case, y is 1. This one works the same way. So if I add 7x to both sides, I get 12x. If I add 14 to both sides, I get 24. Divide by 12, I get 2. And then you can plug it back in for x. So this will give us 10 minus 14 is negative 4. All right, substitution still. These are not ready to substitute, so we'll have to rearrange to isolate one of our variables. So in this case, x is the easiest to isolate because it doesn't have a coefficient. So you could have x equals 17 minus 5y there, and then you can plug that in for x in your equation. All right, so we'll distribute. It'll give us negative 85 plus 25y. So if I add 85 to both sides, that'll give me 90. 25 minus 5 is, that'll give me 100. And then 25 minus 5 is 20y. So y is 5. And then you can plug it back in. 17 minus 25 gives us negative 8. All right, so on this one, this y will be the easiest to isolate since it does not have a coefficient. And then you can plug that in for the y down here. All right, so we'll distribute first. So you have 5x minus 112 plus 5, or not plus 5, plus 40x equals negative 22. So here 5x plus 40x is 45x. Negative 22 plus 112 would give us 90. Divide by 45, and that'll give us 2 for x. So this will be negative 14 plus 10 is negative 4. All right, elimination. What's nice about these is they are already ready to eliminate. Your x's add to 0, so they cross out. And you end up with negative 1y equals 4, which makes y negative 4. And then at this point, we can plug it back into either equation. So this will be positive 28. Subtract 28 from both sides, you get negative 4. So x is negative 2. All right, this one's the same. I'm going to go ahead and skip it since it's pretty straightforward. That would cancel out right away. Here it is very close to canceling out right away, but the signs are both negative and you need one positive and one negative. So I'm going to change all of the signs in this third one And as long as you change all of the signs, you should be good. And so now those will cancel, and I get negative 8x equals negative 24, which will make x 3. And then we can plug it back in to find y. That's negative 15. So if I add 15 to both sides, I get 20. And if I divide by negative 5, I get negative 4. All right, so now we're getting into where we'd actually have to multiply to get them to be the same. So I think my y's would be easiest to become the same because I could take 6 times 2 to get a positive 12. So I'm going to multiply the whole top equation by 2, which will give me negative 10x plus 12y equals negative 22, and now we're ready to cancel. So it'll give me negative 18x equals negative 18, so x is 1. And then I can add 5 to both sides and divide by 6, so y is negative 1. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cross this one out since they're very similar. So here 9x minus 6y equals negative 9, and then negative 7x minus 7y equals 7. We are going to have to multiply both, it looks like. So let's say we want to do the x's. The least common multiple I can think of is 63. So I'm going to multiply the top one by 7 and the bottom one by 9. All right, so this would give us negative 105y equals 0. So y is 0. So x is negative 1. All right, last page. So these, you can solve any way you want, but they're set up for elimination, where elimination would be easiest. So if I multiply this top one by negative 2, they'll give me positive 4x plus 2y equals negative 4. And what's unique about this one is all of these would cancel and you have 0 equals 0. That's a true statement, so that means we have infinitely many solutions. Okay, these are the exact same line, so any point on that line would work. Similarly, I'm going to multiply this top one by negative 7. And your x and your y will cancel. But on the right side here, we get 7. This is not a true statement, so that's a special case where you'd have no solution. No points work. These last two are just more special cases, so I'm going to go ahead and skip these two as well. So that's the end for your Unit D notes for today. Your assignment is to work on the yellow Unit D homework pages.